Hello, Tangy Productions. This is what we're doing today. Uh, it's not normal what I'm doing today, but so in this tub, kind of pulled out the side grout wall here. We have some tile and patching repairs. So what I did was I pulled it apart, sanded the grout. There is old grout, kind of like stuck to each tile. Okay, so these are cleaned up. Okay, I sanded these down. I got some rough sandpaper. I got some sanding sponges. Okay, I tapped them out all equally. And then the weird part is, so when you have old grout stuck to it, this is one of my favorite blades. I've used this blade for like 20 years. This is high pressure, high accuracy where you need it. So when I'm chipping away at grout here, it digs all the pressure right down on the lower blade there. And it's a good tile knife for removing old grout. Otherwise you can use it, flip it, and just drag just the tip in there. You know what I mean? There's a million ways you can use this sucker to forcefully remove all old grouts and crap like that. There's only, I think, 2 in the country ever made. They're not easy to find, but for knife makers, that's kind of an idea. It's just a little finger hole split. It works, but it's basically, it doesn't matter the blade. It matters the pressure and the angle that you get on a tile for removing that. Otherwise, you crack the tile, break the shit, whatever. It's impossible to find a knife holster for. I found this one over at a gun show the other day. And then, so I whipped up a bottle of this. This is just alcohol. Okay. So the drywall's got some black mold and shit like that. So I just kill off some black mold a little bit and let it dry through the drywall. It dries pretty much instantaneously, kills any bacteria prior. And then mainly it's for the lip. So you spray alcohol on the lip, and then I'll wipe this surface, and you prep it for the caulking all the way across. So the whole thing down is all fucked. So I got to run a bead of caulk in there. I have to run a bead of caulk, and there's a bunch of more tiles that have cracked over here. I got to run through this. It's going to be a minute, but show you when I'm done. Other than that, all the tiles came out clean. They're all in pretty reasonable condition. The shape of them can matter. Sometimes if they're a little bolstery, you got to sand them down a little bit and shape the tile. And then with my little tiny knife, you see all the prior caulking and stuff like that, and just peel it. But you know what I mean? That's what takes off the old shit and gets ready for the new. Base products that I use is pretty simple on this one. I use that. This is a tile hammer. That's just like basically axe blade for just kind of like peeling the big chunks. This is what we're using today for spackle. Oh wait, what did I get? This is grout, excuse me. So this is what I'm using for grout. Quick Seal Ultra Dab. It's just a lifetime. It's a white caulking, just gloss white. And then this is a bevel putty knife. So when the original was only 2, and then the tiny corner. So you put this in behind, and you just kind of tap it out, and it just folds out the panels of the tiles, so it doesn't break. It's real lightweight work. But something like that will crack this before the tile, and that's I believe important. If you use the metal ones, metal can split a tile pretty effectively, and then you're sitting there trying to cut in tiles till you die, and that can get a long goddamn time. So other than that, we prepped it just a minute ago. I gotta go through and clean this seal and the tile frames, and then I gotta do a back behind the sink here. And then we'll be cleaning this up throughout the fucking day. It's getting to be a long fucking day. But so this one hasn't been done in, God, I don't even fucking know, man. Long ass motherfucking time. But that's all I got to Got to be able to tub, man. Got to be able to tub. So that's the setup for the day. Not easy, but those are the length of products, and the alcohol I'm using is 91%. Don't use the 70. 70 will soak into the walls, can leak moisture, bacteria, and kind of be a vacuum for it later. And then if you're having trouble holding physical tiles in perspective, since this was built, you can go back to modern day, and there's a can of something called Flex Seal, which is a rubber cement adhesive. Flex Seal you do not use on any of the higher vertical tiles. You only use Flex Seal, only on the base of the back, and that's if you have to peel the front end of sheetrock, because this is actual sheetrock. Okay, the cardboard layer that was stuccoed past to it is gone. That's this shit. It's just, that's the end of it. Okay, so that shit was gone. It was all fucking black mold moisture. That ain't coming back for the drywall. So when I sand that shit down, I alcohol layer it, and then I can Flex Seal in between. And then the top here, if any moisture is proceeding, it will end up here, okay? Rather than down here at the base, and it won't fucking annihilate the drywall. So modern day tactics, you can use a different perspective. Olden day tactics, you just use the drywall as it sits to absorb most of the moisture. But if it doesn't have that cap sealant due to the black mold and I couldn't remove it, you can't peroxide it out. Drywall is effective for that, but in later terms, it's different than modern terms. And don't use a thick layer, use a very, very thin layer. Okay, and all it does is it slowly will allow it, the idea is it slowly allows moisture and air in, not quickly. So if you do have a leak, okay, it will very slowly parse it, just like a cardboard. Cardboard's like a thick material, dense, that kind of goes on top of the sheetrock. That kind of slows the airflow down. So that's all you're using a Flex Seal to do. It's a rubber cement, but if it's particle sprayed, then you should be all right with that type of thing. Depends on if you're more north or more south. We're way up north here. So the heave is 4 a.m., 4 p.m. Okay, so 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. it's humid, 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. it's dry. So keep account of your weather. This is Tangy Production.